Is the next James Bond really going to be a girl? Stick around because you don't want to miss that topic. Now, let's jump right into it. Today's first topic, before we get to our main topic, is Britney Spears. And Britney Spears is in the news because the court has ordered her conservatorship over. That's right, it's over. So Britney is free. Now this is a big success, not just for Britney Spears, but for people who were put in her position in general. We live in a society where conservatorship is a real thing, and sometimes it is being taken advantage of. Sometimes the person that the conservatorship is for doesn't really need it. And hopefully with this case being as big as it is, and a celebrity being involved, we can get a little bit more into making sure that the people who are in charge of these conservatorships are in charge for the right reasons, in addition to making sure the people who have to be under one really do need one. So we applaud Britney Spears for finally being free of her conservatorship. In fact, she posted on her Instagram her flying a jet plane simulator, talking about she feels like she's soaring through the clouds. And this was in regards to her being free. So it is a big victory for her, and the fans of Britney who stuck by her have helped her in this situation, and you guys should be proud of yourself because perhaps you even changed the law for the better. Now, that brings us to our next topic. And what is our next topic? Our next topic is the Gabby Petito case. Now, I told you before, we'd follow this until it was over. And why? Because it is sort of a big thing. And it just keeps getting weirder. More fandom keeps involving itself within it as well. So of course we're going to cover it for you. The latest is that Dog the Bounty Hunter has actually put himself into this case. He has begun to look for Gabby's boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. And he had gone last week to the house of the parents and the mom of Brian Laundrie's parents. And the mom had called the police on him. Called 911, in fact. And, well, after that, he found out that right after he had gotten back, right after Brian Laundrie had gotten back without Gabby Petito, his parents and him went to a campsite. Well, he checked into the records, and apparently 3 of them entered on camera, and only 2 left. Now that's a little bit on the crazy side when you think about it. How come that would be a thing? And why didn't the FBI say anything about that? Well, the FBI didn't say anything about that simply because they have to maintain some level of privacy. The FBI has since stated that they did in fact know that this video existed. However, they have not yet confirmed Dog the Bounty Hunter's tips that 3 entered and 2 left. They haven't actually revealed that at all. And the reason is that they do have to maintain some level of discipline in what they say. They can't just say that, this happened or that happened, because it is a violation of somebody's privacy if they have not officially been accused. There's a whole lot of things that Dog the Bounty Hunter doesn't have to mess around with. He doesn't have to be nice about it. In fact, he has gone on record even so much as a few hours ago saying that he will probably find them. He will probably find Brian Laundrie. And that's a good thing. He's hot on the trail. He has a lot of leads. And that's awesome, because that means we could get justice sooner rather than later. That brings us to our last topic. And what is our last topic? Well, it is this. The rumor has begun once again that James Bond will be replaced by a woman in ongoing films. This comes hot on the heels of the release of the new film. The new film, No Time to Die, is out, and the critics have actually said that it's a pretty enjoyable film at that. The whole thing with it, however, is that yes, there is a female agent in the film. And that instantaneously does bring out the people who want to spread lies about your fandom without really knowing all the truths. But this isn't the first time we've seen this rumor. Way before Lashana Lynch got the role of the new 007 in No Time to Die, which is not about her replacing him at all, but an ongoing part of the James Bond saga. We also heard this rumor several times over. Actors of color possibly playing James Bond. And while I personally would not be opposed to something like that, it is very unlikely that they are going to do that. It is also very unlikely that they will have a woman play James Bond. However, where does this rumor come from, and how is this a thing? Well, the people who did the movie actually said that it is very possible that Lashana Lynch would go forward. This is okay. But let's be clear. She's not James Bond. Which essentially means if she's not James Bond, and in fact her character is not named James Bond, then guess what? She cannot replace James Bond. Which means the James Bond legacy will continue to go on as it is. And there's been several casting possibilities thrown up as of late as well. You have the usuals that we keep getting. Henry Cavill's name is once again thrown out. Michael Fassbender's name is thrown out. And I personally like that idea. However, Michael Fassbender is probably a good choice. Henry Cavill would be an interesting choice. One rumor that I heard is potentially that Tom Holland might be up for the role, and that's kind of crazy. This was apparently from an article in some magazine where they listed the top people that are up for the role. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, as James Bond. And he looks way too young to be James Bond. And if you go back to Daniel Craig's days where he played in Casino Royale, you would see that he is supposed to be a very young James Bond at the beginning of James Bond's career. This would be taking everything out of continuity should someone like Tom Holland be cast. This is why someone of an older caliber would be playing James Bond. As always, it's usually someone in their late 30s to early 40s playing James Bond to start with. This has always been the way it is. And there's not really any reason to change that. So whoever James Bond is going to be in the future, whoever our 007 is going to be in the future, rest assured that he will be a British actor. And he will probably resemble James Bond in the novels. Despite what you're hearing from anybody else, a little bit of logical, critical thinking is needed. Critical thinking is important here because if you have a female James Bond, she could be named James Bond. I mean, there is an actress who for a long time went by the name James King. It is possible that her name could be James Bond. However, it is very unlikely that they would keep the same name if they were bringing in a female character to be 007. Simply because they would want to separate James Bond from the new 007. And can we be honest for just a second? Women in action films has always been something that has happened. And I'm actually incredibly surprised we have never gotten a female James Bond style film. Lashana Lynch is a talented actress, and Lashana Lynch deserves a starring role. She has played in a lot of stuff as of recently and is going to continue to play in a lot of really cool things. Should they decide to have a female James Bond style go on, after they cast whoever the new James Bond is, I would be completely down for a female version of James Bond. It might be really cool. Think about all of the different action films you've seen that have starred really tough girls that people haven't tried to destroy in your fandom because they don't know about them. The legitimate thing here, people, is that we live in a society right now where it's popular to hate new things, where it is popular to try to destroy fandoms as soon as they come out, simply for the fact that they're not what we're used to. If you have someone who was a 007, and I'm sure by the end of this film, and I have not seen this film, but by the end of this film, I can guarantee one thing. She will not be the new James Bond. She will not be going forward as James Bond. There will not be a new female James Bond. You can take that to any bank in the world and cash that as good as a check. Because it's the gospel truth, friends. And that's the thing. A little bit of critical thinking here goes a long way. They're not going to sabotage an existing character that has been around as long as James Bond simply to do it. When a movie like James Bond has been around for as long as it's been around, they know it sells. Of course, the actor always has to change. I always look at a couple of the actors, a couple of the characters in some movies as extensions of different stories. You have Superman, you have Batman, you have Spider-Man. Multiple actors have played these roles. Even the Incredible Hulk, multiple actors have played this role. It's perfectly fine for multiple actors to play it. You're never going to see them take and destroy the concept of these characters in their entirety. Sure, you have a new Superman movie coming out with DC. You have two of them coming out. They're going to be completely different, but they're going to be elsewhere movies. In a thing like James Bond, they don't want to do an elsewhere movie. They're going to keep the established formula as it is. So why wouldn't we want to see Lashana Lynch come back? Or a female James Bond? Why? Because, well, you have people that are instantaneously going to hate on it because they're going to be like, well, this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't my James Bond. If you don't give new things a chance, you'll never expand your horizons. You'll never find that next big thing you like. I always say that you have to give every fandom a chance before you destroy it. You have to give every movie a chance before you say it's not for me. You really do, because there's a lot of movies I wouldn't have watched, I wouldn't have seen, I wouldn't have gone to or liked at all that have become some of my all-time favorite movies. So when you're looking at the idea of a female James Bond, that isn't going to happen. But a spinoff? Why not? How cool would it be? Let me know what you think in the comments about that. But while we're on that topic, let's examine the facts. Because is it likely that Lashana Lynch will be moving forward in the James Bond movies? Well, being that they haven't casted a new one yet, and we might be a couple years down the line, it is potentially possible. However, if you're looking for this to happen within the next couple of years, it is probably unlikely. Because in 2021 is when No Time to Die was done. We were ready for it to be released in theaters. The pandemic happened, and unfortunately, it couldn't be released. Since then, she has done a movie called Ear for Eye. And Ear for Eye has been completed. Its scheduled release date is sometime in 2021. She has a couple things in pre-production coming out, but as of right now, she is filming Matilda, the musical, where she is playing the character of Miss Honey. And that is scheduled to come out in 2022. When you look at it that way, you know you're not going to see a film with her as any sort of spy character in the James Bond mythology anytime soon. But maybe not for longer, and it may be potentially possible that you don't, because in pre-production she has 2 movies or shows. I'm not sure which. I just know that she has The Woman King in pre-production and one called The Outside Room. So what does that mean? That means that she's going to be a pretty busy person for the next maybe year to 2 years at least, possibly 3. So let me know what you think in the comments. Would you be down to see a female spy movie, sort of like James Bond, in the same universe as James Bond? Would that be pretty cool? Do you think that there's any validations to the fact that Lashana Lynch could be playing said character? I want to know what you guys think in the comments below. So let us know what you think down in the comments below, because YouTube tends to like it when you comment, and we like to hear from you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel we talk about all things positive in the fandoms, and we talk about them as positively as we possibly can. And if that's something that appeals to you and you're sick of the hate on YouTube and the people trying to destroy your fandoms by spreading lies about the movies that you haven't seen yet, poisoning you before you actually see them, we're not like that. you've come to the right place. We'll tell you like it is. We'll tell you when we like something. We'll tell you when we don't. But we're going to tell you in the most positive way we can, because it's not up to us, and all film is subjective. So you're definitely going to want to subscribe to this channel. What was that? Yeah, Miko tends to think we need more subscribers. And I kind of am starting to think he's right. So we need more subscribers, so go ahead and subscribe. There's a little notification bell down there you want to hit, so you know when we do our next video and you don't miss anything. Go ahead and hit that as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Oh, one more thing. At the end of the day, fandom is family.